Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll be talking about a very hot topic from last few weeks. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the HDB removal of the 15 months wait-out period and how will this impact you if you are a HDB owner right now. Okay, so first thing first, I think when everybody hear this news, everybody might be thinking like, wow, 15 months wait-out remove, prices are gonna boom again. Okay, but today let me just show you some facts and figures on what we think will happen in the next few months or the next year based on the lifting of this 15 months wait-out period. Okay, so first of all, if you have any questions, welcome to WhatsApp. Either me or my partner Joyce. If you have any inquiries regarding to your HDB or if you want to do an upgrade or you want to buy a new launch, feel free to WhatsApp us. Okay, so on 28th July, what happened was the government actually released a news saying that they lifted the 15 months wait-out period for those private property owners. So what happened was, right, throughout the past 2 years or so, private property owners, when they want to sell their condo, let's say they are of a certain age or they no longer want to pay the monthly installment, when they want to sell their condo, they want to go to a HDB, what actually happened is if they are below 55 years old, they have to actually sell and wait out a 15 months period by either going out to rent or they go to their relative house to stay or their children's house to stay. But if they were above 55 years old, what they could do was they could actually buy a 4-room flat or smaller flat in the resale market, and that was no issue at all. But right now, after they lifted out this 15 months wait-out period, the private property owners, what they can do is they actually can sell and go to a 5-room or bigger flat, or those below 55 years old, they can actually straight commit to a HDB flat right away. So this happened to one of my sellers recently. Actually sold their ground floor patio unit in the north. So their intention was because they have no kids and they actually just want to offload this property just to buy a HDB in future so they can just semi-retire already. So just nice, upon completion a few days later, this news came out. So this is like the best news for them. They no longer have to wait out anymore. They can just go and buy. So good for them. Okay, so why did the government actually lifted this 15 months wait-out period? Because right, after COVID, right, the prices were booming non-stop. Prices of HDB were going up non-stop because of the shortage of supply in the market and BTOs were getting delayed. So what was happening was, right, because we are very heavily involved in HDB, so a lot of couples, they actually give up their BTO because it was too long a wait and to come out to the resale market to purchase a resale. And during COVID period and slightly after COVID period, the shortage of supply and the BTO that was not ready for keys collection actually caused the prices to boom up because demand was too high and supply was too low. And also at that period, the private property prices was also actually very high that time. So a lot of people chose to cash out and go to the HDB as well. So that's why the demand and supply couldn't meet during that period. So what actually happened was the government actually implemented this 15 months wait-out period in order to lower the demand for the HDBs. Okay, the government has been actually implementing small measures along the way to actually try to cool down the demand for the HDB prices by ramping up BTO supply and ramping up how fast you can build a BTO. And actually, this has already been in effect over the past few years, whereby the prices were slowly moderating. So if you look at the news, actually what was happening was in 2025, there has been increase all this while. The news was always reporting that the HDB prices has been going up and up and up. Okay, but I would like to mention that sometimes what you see on the news might not relate to all the properties in Singapore, because I do a lot of resale flats which are of older age, 20 plus years, and sometimes all these price index don't actually apply to them, because what actually drive all these prices up, right, was all those new BTOs that reach their MOP and come out to sell, and they actually grab a hefty profit, right? And all these young and new BTO, they are so highly sought in demand because renovation costs also went up. And young buyers like us, right, I'm like 33, young buyers like us, we don't want to pay a hefty reno fee like 100,000+. So they chose to buy a newly MOP HDB, right? And even if the sellers are asking for like 10-20k COV for a nicely renovated house, people will just pay for it, because rather than paying 100,000 for your reno, now 4-5 room, 80 to 100,000, you cannot run one. So paying 10 to 20,000 COV is still worth it in buyer sense. Okay, so that's why the prices of all these young MOP flats has been going up all these years. But on the contrary, for the older flats, right, prices have been moderating throughout the 1 year plus. So how did the government determine that it was time to leave the 15 months wait-out period? So you can see that in 2026, the first quarter and second quarter, right, actually the prices, resale price index actually decreased from minus 0.1% and minus 0.3%. Compared to the other years, a few years back, it kept increasing non-stop. Actually, this has been the discussion of some agents really whether they will leave out the 15 months wait-out period. Because since 2025 June onwards, right, actually, right, all agents, we all experience a slowdown in the transaction volume in the HDB. Those units, they are still moving faster, whereby you can like one view, one sell, all those nice units, newly renovated, or those like newly MOP units. But for resale units that are around 20 years plus to 30, 40 plus years, we are actually experiencing a very big slowdown in the transaction volume, and also the viewing rate also decreased by a lot already. So if you look at the resale price index of HDB flats, right, you can see the previous high was at 2013, 2012 period. So what happened was, when I entered the market in 2019, when I became a RES for the first time, a lot of sellers that I inquired, right, they actually bought during this period. And when they come out to sell during this period, they actually experience a negative sale. Negative sale means, right, when you sell a flat, right, you actually don't make anything. You experience a loss due to either CPF accrued interest and outstanding loan. Outstanding loan plus CPF use, it cannot add up to the property price. So that's why a lot of negative sale. And the highest I ever experienced was minus 100k negative sale. But for those owners that sold during that period, sometimes what actually happened was they have no choice. Some of them, their BTO was here, they have to dispose of their current HDB, and also some of them, personal reasons, migrating, all those, they have to sell. But for those owners that did not sell, good thing for you, the prices went up because of after COVID, due to the lack of supply that I mentioned earlier. Demand too high, supply too low. So prices went up. Then all those people that actually held onto their flat longer, they actually did not experience this negative sale over here. Instead, when they exit during 2024 to 2026, what happened was they actually made a profit or they broke even. Okay, so lucky for all these people. And the luckiest people right now are those people who sell during this period and they transit to a BTO. Why? Because let's say, for example, you sell during this period, you go to a resale HDB again. Then when prices start to moderate or fall next time, it will be this whole cycle happening again. You might experience a negative sale in the future. But for those people that was going to a BTO, you actually go to a newly subsidized flat, which was like a guaranteed gains, so you don't actually lose anything at all. So these are the luckiest people. Those people that sell their HDB, go to a newly built EC, or they go to a BTO that just collected keys. These are the luckiest people, and congratulations to you guys. You can see that prices have actually been moderating since the last few quarters. That's why government actually realized that, okay, it's time to leave the 15 months wait-out period. And okay, because they believe that the prices would not boom up as much as after COVID that time. Okay, because they have been introducing so many measures. BTO ramp up supply. Now BTO fastest I see 1.5 years they can build finish already. This is so fast already. This is ramping up supply for everybody and moderating the demand for the resale flats. So you can see here what was released in Straits Times. About 13,500 flats will reach their MOP this year. And this was why the transaction volume, right, for HDB actually slowed down so much. You can ask any agent friends that you know, everybody will tell you that the market is slow. Because of all these newly MOP flats, everybody prefer to go to all these newer MOP flats whereby they have to do minimal reno. Even though it's slightly smaller in size compared to older flats, but young couples, honestly, everybody will just go there. Makes more sense also. I always tell my buyers also, if you want to buy today, you go to a younger flat because you still can retain value in future compared to those older flats. Yeah, but that's just our perspective. Please don't quote me. Okay, so what will happen in 2027, the newly MOP flats will go up to 15,000 by increase another 15,000, and by 2028, another 19.5k will reach MOP. So you can see there's an influx of like 35k in future, and these will greatly reduce the demand for HDB resale in future as well. And trust me, because me and my wife, we are seasoned HDB agents. We have been doing HDB since 2019, and we've seen the ups and downs of HDB. And it is honestly very scary when you have a listing, right, and there's no enquiries regardless how much you pump in the money. Because it's just what it is. People prefer to go to newer flats now, newer BTO, and young couples, they want to go to. So to sum up this 15 months wait-out period, right, before I touch on the impacts on all the different types of HDB, what was happening before? Buying a non-subsidized resale flat, okay, you must wait 15 months after selling your private property, but right now, no wait out, you can buy immediately. So today, if you're a private property owner, regardless what age you are, you sell, you can buy a resale HDB immediately. Then what happened before the order operations was, before that you have to sell your private property, wait, then buy. Then now you can actually buy your resale HDB first, then you sell within 6 months. So disposing of private property before, you have to dispose before wait out period, but right now within 6 months. So for subsidized flat, before that was a 30 months wait out. If you sell your private, you need to wait out 30 months before you can buy a brand new HDB, or you want to buy a brand new EC from the developer. Okay, but right now, same, unchanged. 30 months wait out still remain the same. Okay, HFE letter required as before, right now still required. Before you buy a HDB, please do your HFE first, because if you like a unit, you go for viewing, you cannot buy, irregardless how much you like the unit. Recently, I was hosting a viewing for my 5-room flat in Woodlands, right? A couple actually came and viewed. HFE was ready, but what was happening was, I think a lot of owners, when you're doing a sell and buy, you don't know the flow of funds. You don't know that you have to sell first, then buy later, because you require the funds from the current flat. And they came to view, and they told me they didn't like the unit. Okay, I understand why, but I highlighted to them, today, even if you like my unit, there was no way you could have buy this unit first without disposing of your current property. So today, HDB owners out there, if you are doing a sell and buy, you must understand whether you need the funds from your current sale or not. If you need, you have to start selling first, because market is very slow right now. You shouldn't go and commit to a HDB or a private first and then risk losing your deposit for your buying side because you can't sell a HDB. And trust me when I say that HDB is very slow right now. Okay, unless today you are newly MOP flat, then okay, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. But today, if you are holding onto a HDB that is 20 plus years to 30 plus or even older, please, you have to sell first. Because it will not be a quick journey for you. So, touching on the biggest question that everybody wants to know, will the HDB prices boom up again? Okay, so will it be like this again? Honestly, in our opinion, it will not. The influx of the private property owners, right, will not cause the prices to shoot up again. Because if it will cause the HDB prices to shoot up again, right, will our government actually leave up this 15 months wait-out period? No. They are confident. After evaluating through their research, they are confident that the influx of these private property owners will not actually increase the price of the HDB, even though they are coming in, because they have done so many measures already, like what I mentioned earlier. So what will happen based on our prediction, this is just my prediction, okay, please don't quote me, the prices are going to slowly moderate and eventually decrease. Why? HDB is meant to be affordable. HDB is affordable housing. It's not meant for people to speculate and like earn money for it. And prices are way too high right now. So I primarily do the north side for HDB. So what is happening was, I can tell you the trend of the HDB for a 4-room flat in the Sembawang. Okay, because I stay Sembawang, let me give you a Sembawang example. A 4-room flat in Sembawang last time 320k pre-COVID 2019. Then it went up to 450 slightly after COVID. Then 520. Then highest I'm talking about older flats highest I got see 580, 591. Okay, but what happened during last year, since around June, right? The prices actually started to come down. Okay, so recently I transacted a few 4-room flats around here, and disclaimer, it's not that I sell low. All these owners actually have agents before me that tried to sell at a high price but couldn't sell. So 4-room flat transacted prices 510 and even 53, 54. These are the prices right now. Averagely 51 to 52. And we're talking about high floor units. So prices have slowly come down already. But whether it will break below 500k or not, we will see in the later part of the year, which I believe it will, because HDB prices will slowly moderate back. So our prediction is the prices will not go up, but it will slowly moderate or even come down. Okay, I'm not trying to fearmonger all my viewers out here, but this is just some facts that we agents experience on the ground every day, and we want to share with you guys. Okay, so I break down into all the different types of HDB. So what's gonna happen? So we talk about the older ones first, those that are like 20 years and above. Okay, so 2-room flat is either same or decrease, 3-room same or decrease, 4-room same or decrease. 5-room flat, I believe it will be the same or decrease also, because all these people that downsize from their private property, right? They are not looking for a 5-room flat. And if your 5-room flat is around 1184 square feet, the standard size, right? It's not gonna make a difference to all these private property owners. What they are looking for are all those big HDB, especially in those like Pasir Ris area whereby it's like so humongous, their 5-room flat. So that's gonna make a difference. But for those standard size one, 1184, 1313, if you're on a low floor, mid floor, it's not gonna make a difference to them. Yeah, but if you're on a high floor, I think you might be able to still fetch a decent price right now. For EAEM, I feel that it might slowly inch upwards a little bit. But honestly, EAEM, Jumbo, or still got Jumbo, the prices is already very inflated already. Yeah, so it's either the prices remain the same or your unit start to move. Okay, but one key thing for all these EAEM or Jumbo owners that want to offload their property at a good price right now, right? Our advice to you is don't ask for extension. When you want to sell a big size unit, right, you cannot ask for extension. Not say cannot, I mean it's not recommended, because if you want to ask for extension, all these people who are downsizing from their private property, they cannot give you extension. Yeah, so your buyer pool will reduce. So in order to fetch a good price for your EAEM or your Jumbo, trust me, you can fetch a higher price by going out to rent or staying with your relative first. You just sell without extension. You will be able to fetch a higher price, or you may be able to move your unit, because I see there are still a lot of big size unit getting stuck over there. Yeah, so in order to move your unit, please don't call for extension. So for those newer ones which are less than, I would say less than 20 years, or specifically less than 10 years, those newly MOP ones, I would say the prices will remain the same or maybe slightly inch up a little bit lah. Okay, status quo, status quo, status quo. For the 5-room flat, I think it might increase a little bit, because all these newer flats, the private property owners, they don't have to do much reno, they can buy your flat as it is. There are no new EAEM that is under 10 years old. Okay, so last point, price positioning. One piece of advice for HDB owners out there. Today, if you're holding on to an old HDB, if you are on a high floor, unblocked view, windy, no extension, your unit will move. Okay, but today, if you are on mid-floor or lower and your condition of your house is not renovated and you require extension, please, I think you need to reposition your pricing strategy with your agent. Because in this current market, in this slow current market, what is happening is you need to position your unit properly in terms of price for it to move. If not, it will get stuck. Now, trust me, because I've been taking over listings that have been listed from other agents for like 3 to 6 months, or even the longest I've taken is 9 months. They couldn't sell. Yeah, but eventually I sold it for them lah. But price positioning is very important. It's not saying that you're selling low, but understanding where your unit position in the markets will help you move on from your HDB to where you are next. Okay, because right now in this current market, I talk about the north. Too many BTOs are collecting keys. Yishun, the one near Khoo Park, Woodlands, the one near Causeway Point. All these collecting keys, there is a huge influx of sellers into the market. You want to offload fast, you must have something that stands out from them. Yeah, so price positioning is very important. But for those owners that are having a property that is of a very young age, I don't think you need to fear of anything. Prices are still going to remain the same or slightly inch up, because there will still be demand for your flat. So don't need to worry. Okay, so all in all, what will happen next? Nobody knows, but my prediction is prices will slowly start to come down. So for all those people that are holding on to an old HDB resale, if you need to dispose your flat, please position your price correctly and you will stand to benefit. Okay, so this is the end of our video. We hope that you have gained something out of this video. If you are still waiting for the HDB prices to shoot up, please don't do that. Okay, good luck to everybody. See you at the next video. Bye.